Hey, what's up guys? Gunnar Anderson here with another video from my friend David Yontobian's games. He was playing More Excuses 93 once again, and in this game he has black. So we have another Scandinavian. But here Bishop G4 is played, which, yeah, is not a bad move. We can see Bishop F5 does score a bit better. But Bishop G4 is it's something that you can play for sure. It's just a bit harder at times. So I agree with everything black has done so far. And then, still good. This is pretty much perfect. And here, yeah, Queen C7. I would play, because Knight E4 is annoying, I think, if I remember correctly. We can see. There's like this cool threat button, so... Yeah, I guess if we just play this move, though, I don't think anything bad happens. So yeah, you can play Queen C7 or you can play Knight D7. But in the other position, it was bad to play Knight or Queen C7 first because there is no pawn on E6, and also like a bunch of things were not developed properly. So anyway, castle long, Knight BD7, G4, Knight B6. So this is all theory. This is fine, but now you want to play Knight B to D5. This is important. And this looks weird at first because you might think, well, why? Because he just goes G5. But the thing is, you can play Knight C3. And if you take my Knight on F6, I'm just going to take on D1 and say, well, I have more material than you do. Like, that's not good. And okay, if you go here, now black just castles long and laughs in your face. So Knight FD5 was a mistake because the Knight on B6 has no role other than to go to D5. In this case, the Knight on F6 actually had more of a role because the Knight on F6 controls the E4 square. And as we pointed out, G5 is nothing special. Because what's going to happen is something like this, and you got to trade your knights, and now you have like one beautiful knight versus one beautiful knight and one knight that's like kind of having issues, right? He's just confused, he doesn't know where he belongs, and this one is that. So Knight E4, this was very wise from the opponent because he realizes that, hey, I don't want to trade these knights, I want to play C4 and C5. So, yeah, and Bishop D6 just blunders immediately, unfortunately. This is another reason why the knight on B6 was bad. Because if you move, let's say here, he can just play C5 already. And the funny thing is this bishop's even trapped. He's not even necessarily only attacking this. And this will get to be really nasty after bishop F4. The position is just kind of falling apart. Or even bishop C3, actually. So this has a lot of problems. And there's not another move to play, unfortunately. If Knight F6, you can just simply take and then play C5. Now it is actually relevant that your pieces are forked, but it doesn't really change anything. So yeah, at this point, Bishop D6 is already a game-losing blunder. Bishop E7 would have been better, although after C4, Knight F6, Bishop F4, the position remains difficult, I would say. So Bishop D6, C4. This was a reasonable try, I think, because the knight on B6 was bad compared to the knight on D5, so this was the best possible way to do this. And then B5, Knight D6, Queen D6, Bishop D5. What White's doing is sensible. He's just trading pieces off because he has more material. Bishop F4, check, King over, Queen D6, and you'll get a little bit of play, but it won't really amount to anything, unfortunately. G5, this is smart because it fixes the pawn on F7, so that he can play Bishop E5. If he does this immediately, then simply F6. So this is a good structure idea. Now here, actually, I think he could have played differently. Could have played for Rook G1 and Bishop F6 maybe, but the way that I would think about this is I want to do this, and like let's say you're just trying to double and checkmate me. I'm gonna go here And I wanted to do this, but maybe it's just too much, actually, unfortunately. But, okay, what he did is also fine. Like, he's up a piece, and this attack is not going anywhere. It's not getting off the ground. And here, he could have even just played rook d2. And then there are no questions. The attack is just forestalled permanently. Queen c6 is a move, though, I guess, was his point. But then there's just queen to d1. And these are just not doing anything in practice. Like, they look scary, but nothing will ever happen. So this is what happens. I think even g6 would be a strong move. It's probably the move that I might have thought about playing. Because if you take this way, he takes like this. And if you take the other way, then he'll just take in this fashion, and then he can play bishop d6 and queen to f8. Or he can even take on h7, and then play rook h1 again. So it's not really easy to deal with these problems, I would go so far as to say. This is pretty easy. Okay, well, actually, sorry, not this because of this, but you know what I mean. Just this and this. But HG is also good. It opens up the rook. And it also threatens this, actually. So queen c6 is good because if he just blindly does what he wants to, he actually gets checkmated. So that would be a pretty sad way to lose for him. That being said, I think he should have gone here. Because, oh, actually, sorry, he should not do that because you have this move. But he can go... Ah, okay, interesting, yeah. So actually, no, sorry, this is actually a very smart move. Because it prevents this thing from happening. a4, a3, b4, take, queen c4, queen h3. And now, after h6, I thought you were going to go here. And then play rook c3. And I'm not totally sure. I guess rook c1 is good enough. Because of this. But this may have been an interesting try. I don't know. But anyway, the game just kind of ends in this way. So the main things for this game were do not play... so knight b6 is good, but you want to do this instead. And bishop d6 was a mistake. And after that, I actually do think that you did a good job generating counterplay. But at the same time, it was just not good enough because you were down an entire piece for nothing really. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.